Okay, so this is a new drawing, a new video amongst all my drawings and videos related to magnetism, specifically human magnetism. Um, so I just did a bunch of drawings, and what you have is my theory as it's kind of developing is something along the lines of that there are 6 primary magnetic spins in the human psyche or the human being, and 2 primary magnetic current flows in the human being or the human psyche. Likewise, this would mean that there are 3 clockwise spins, 3 anti-clockwise spins, and they're aligned along the left and the right sides of the body. What you would be seeing in these drawings would be the top 2 spins would be the head, the next 2 would be the solar plexus and the chest area, lungs, so on, and then the bottom 2 spins would be the navel and the pelvis. There's a few points that I just want to touch on before I kind of discuss just the general idea, which is between these kind of, I guess you'd say, kind of these 6 spins, and you could break it into kind of 3 separate areas or 3 separate spins depending on how you look at it. There are 2 points of higher energy concentration and or release, or what you could call gaps, really, at the throat level and at the solar plexus navel level. So I want you to, this picture is essentially of the human being, but a very rough composite of a human being trying to get the general trend or pattern of magnetic spins and magnetic current flows. So, as I said, there would be 6 primary magnetic spins, 2 primary magnetic current flows. Now, the spins are these 6 little circles that you see. The magnetic current flows would be the 2 lines that you see. So now the question becomes, there's a number of different ways that this might work. One thing to think about that may give some insight into how this actually happens, the brain hemispheres and how they are kind of essentially connected, I guess, to opposite sides of the body, as well as the whole theories of acupuncture. I messed that word up, but what you have is the question becomes one of all you have is a clockwise spin, an anti-clockwise spin, and there's whatever degree of there's this alternation of spins. So the question really becomes one of identifying what the spins are. What are the spins that of the head, which I think they might be like this first drawing, but I'm not sure. What are the spins of the the lungs, the chest, so on, and what are the spins of the pelvis, buttocks, hips, so on. So here you have, what you have here is essentially on this one you have this flow going this way and then this flow going that way. So there's only one point where the 2 flows cross, which would be at the navel. Now that's one possibility. Here's another possibility, which is the spins are different. So you just kind of take the spins and you turn them the other way, but you have 2 crossings, one at the throat and then one at the navel. Now I don't know, either one I think has a potential of being correct, and then you have just a crossing at the throat, which is possible, and that one is not possible, I don't think. And then you have these other kind of variations on the theme of crossing, either crossing at the throat, crossing at the navel, or crossing at both. So that's kind of the question at this point. Where do these spins have to cross at some point? They have to cross, and how does that relate to the left and right arm? How does that relate to the left and right legs? Do they cross twice or once? Do the magnetic current flows cross just at the throat or just at the navel, or do they cross both at the throat and the navel? And the better we can map out the not only the directions and locations of the magnetic spins, but also the kind of the actual kind of, I guess you'd say, directions and the various kind of crossing back and forth across the body of the magnetic current flows, the better we can actually understand this. There's a few other questions that I just wanted to throw in there. And I guess the basic question, the fundamental question is, which is the correct magnetic flow pattern for describing how the human being is defined, as well as I think animals. I think it's the same kind of flow pattern in most instances. There is one question though that is important to consider right at the front, which is when you look at the forms of males versus females or females versus males, what's interesting is there is some kind of distinction or difference in magnetic current flow, and you can see that in the way the body is shaped and developed. So the question is, what are the distinctions and differences in the magnetic current flow, male versus female? But that's just the basic concept. I just wanted to add it along everything else and for people to think about it and actually look at the organs, the brain hemispheres, the two lungs, the two, chests, the chest, the two breasts, etc., the pelvis in male and female, as well as the buttocks, and try to ascertain which one of these is the correct one. So we can actually say, okay, well, this is the correct one for, it's one of these, variations. Which one's the correct one? And then we can go further and really map it out two-dimensionally, three-dimensionally, etc., and create more accurate predictive kind of models that are testable and that we can do things with. So that's just one more addition to the whole process. Thanks. Bye.